Barber Shop Podcast from Boxo Studio in Hamilton, Ontario, bringing you the very best in live music, very best in musicians, and some of the best stuff coming out of anywhere, let alone Canada, here in Southern Ontario. Although I don't want to say southern anything based on the coldness of the frosty
South the South Pole.
Oh, the South Pole. That's what it's like. People are getting annoyed. They're getting a little fed up with all this fucking snow and goddamn ice. So come St. Patrick's Day in a few weeks, people will be happier. Things will start flowing. Smiles and grins will be on everyone's face. Are you feeling good, Ryan?
I'm feeling awful.
Are you feeling awful? You're sick?
Horribly sick.
You dragged your butt down here.
Yeah.
You're not going to wreck your perfect record, are you?
No.
I knew that. You're going to be here, and you're not going to miss a show like we're going to lined up for tonight.
Of course not.
Good.
I never would in a million years.
And nor should you. Not should any of you, because we've actually got how many weeks in a row now, Brian? Is it 66?
Yep.
66. Route 66.
It is now.
It is now, anyway. We've got the magical number 66, and we've got the Monarch Project. Band from Hamilton, you guys are really going to dig. Have that kitchen party on steroids kind of feel and sound that I really love about them. The two words came to mind when I saw them the first time was pathological magic. You know, it's like the way they explode. And we kind of set a bit of a record tonight, didn't we, Ryan? Unexpected.
Yeah.
Joe smuggled someone in, didn't he?
Just the most people we've ever had in the studio.
Because we're very explicit about it. We say 5. Okay, the place is small. It's kind of it looks a lot bigger out there in TV land, but it's.
And you know what's even worse is now they're going to be like, well, you can get 6 people down there. I've seen it.
I know you can do 6.
6 is going to have to be the new standard.
So
go.
6 for your 66th show.
Yeah,
there we go.
There you go.
It's satanic
it
with
66. Oh my God! So now it's 666. I'm so glad you brought 6 people down.
Yes, the 66. I don't even want to start going there. No. But by the end of the night, I imagine we'll have all traveled there. And who we've got in the studio tonight, I'm going to introduce them en masse from left to right. We've got Jose, Joe, Wally, James, Rob on drums, and Tom, who is the one they smuggled in here, but it adds that extra element to make it absolutely fantastic. I'm going to spin myself around the room. Want to start with you, Jose. Tell me about music, if it was something that was encouraged and nurtured and loved, or if it was kind of like the forbidden redheaded stepchild in your family.
No, it runs on my dad's side of the family. My grandfather was a trumpet player, and I started playing keyboard and piano when I was about 5 or 6, and it just snowballed from there.
Was there always an instrument or someone playing around the house or something?
Not so much playing. I was just kind of handed a keyboard and a guitar as well at one point, and I just kind of figured things out by ear on my own.
Yeah, that's the way, make sounds and
explore it.
Exactly, exploring. And what about you, Joe? It's
a strange one. I had this friend in elementary school who played violin, and I thought that was really neat because there was 3 kids in elementary school that actually played a real instrument. The rest of us just played a handful of bells or something.
Right.
And thanks.
Yeah.
We'll do a little tweaking along the way. That's all good.
Actually, my dad got me into the bagpipes at the age of 7, so I started playing that. And
you're kidding me? Bagpipes?
No, I'm serious.
Well done. Do they have 7-year-old size bagpipes?
They do. They're called chamber pipes. Yeah.
Chamber pipes, good.
Yeah, and took that pretty seriously for a while.
The neighbors must have been happy about that.
Yeah, they loved me.
They loved you.
Yeah. And then rock and roll just seemed more badass.
Exactly. It creeps its way in eventually, doesn't it?
I got made fun of a lot in school, so it was I need something that,
Yeah. It's a chicken and the egg sort of thing. What about you, Wally? You seem to be someone who's been loving music since day one.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I started playing acoustic when I was young. I was in the punk rock scenes for a lot, and then this is the first time I've played organ for people in this band. So
nice. And are you self-taught?
Yeah, virtually no theory whatsoever.
No, that's good. Playing with other people is really fun when you're coming from that level,
Yeah.
people making sounds, right, without a lot of preconceptions. And if I had to bet who had the musical training, I'd say it was James. Do you have any musical training whatsoever? No, they recruited you right off the street.
Kind of self-taught.
Yeah.
My uncle, my dad, both played guitars, so family functions, they came out, and so I quickly kind of learned their tunes and, learned that G, C, D, and then I knew 20 songs.
20 songs right off the, and you were always hired.
Yeah,
Get a
so
job.
yeah, I played acoustic, and that's how I got into it. Dad was always playing Scott Joplin on the piano, so kind of grew up with that in early Chicago, and yeah,
not your everyday, music. Just the three-port Jimmy. It sounds like it's got
if we slept in the mornings, he'd play Does Anybody Know What Time It Is on the piano, which conveniently was right on the adjacent wall to my sister's bedroom. She was the notorious one for sleeping in, so I woke up to that most mornings.
serenaded. How about you, Rob? Are you a multi-instrumentalist, first of all, or are you like a drummer through and through?
Well, a little bit. I started playing bass in shitty punk bands in high school, and I've kind of maintained that for the last little while, but then switched over to drums and actually joined a band with James here, and then one thing led to the other, and now I'm playing with these guys, so...
And I guess you find that the chemistry is the important thing as far as who plays what. That'll settle itself out later. Everyone's open-minded as far as like, I can, and if I'm not already proficient on something, I'm willing to pick it up and hack away at it. And what about you, Tom?
Well, when I was in elementary school, I believe it was either grade 5 or 6, I started taking formal piano lessons and made it to the 6th grade in the whatever it is that the Royal Conservatory of Music notebooks are called, so I was able to do that for a few years, and I took a lot of influence from my brother, in case you didn't know. Rob and I are brothers. So I mean, I listened to a lot of the music that he was listening to, and I went to a bunch of his shows, and
you were fortunate that he didn't like shitty music.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Well, I mean, not to say that classical music is by any means shitty, but it's certainly something that's a little bit different, and so I kind of got a well-rounded appreciation, so I'm kind of glad for that. Nice.
Now, how did the Monarch Project? What was it? What was the germ of that began what it is now? Whose baby is it?
It's kind of my baby.
Okay.
Joe's,
but
Joe's
I was playing alone. My monster.
It's not that bad. Your creation.
I was playing alone
because again, for the viewers out there, this is a truncated version, apparently, of the band. You had to leave a couple people.
No, actually, those individuals only they only play with us like when we can afford the stage space.
or the club can afford to make a stage that big.
Yeah.
It depends what they're paying.
Yeah.
I was playing acoustic guitar for a little while, and I don't remember how we met, but James had a band called Steel Mountie who just put a CD out, and they were playing a bunch of shows, and they needed an opener, so I was willing to open for them. And that was about 1.5 years or 2 years, and I was just learning how to sing, basically playing my acoustic guitar on stage, doing open mics and opening for them. And then and
it was kind of funny because we'd always be running into Joe, seeing him perform, and we always said to ourselves, Rob and I and Jordan, our bass player, we were like, if we ever have a fourth guy in the band, it's got to be Joe. And then our bass player had to bow out of the band, so we played our last show, and we had Joe open for us. So we played our set, and then he came up to us, and he's like, what are you guys doing now? I got a bunch of songs. Do you guys want to get together? And it was just perfect timing.
That's what happened. While that was going on, I work at a cafe, and on Monday nights, I was working nights at that time, and Monday night I'd close early. Jose and I would get together, and actually Wally was part of that. He was playing piano at that time, and we just get together and jam the songs out and mess around. That didn't lead directly into the Monarch Project. Wally only joined recently after I basically twisted his arm. And
you got to do it sometimes, eh? You got to steal them from other bands. You got to hijack it when you get it in your teeth, and you're like, oh, this is really close to what I got in mind.
He actually bought the organ that I'm playing.
Yes,
because he's
enticement.
He's like, you got to join the band. I'm like, I can't afford an organ. And he's like, I'll buy one. You play it.
Well, at the time there was only 4 houses in between you guys too. So
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah,
It's
just
not
too
like you could
convenient.
hide.
Yeah.
This is my baby. This right here is my baby. I love it.
It's a nice piece of
Take
wood.
care of her.
You know, sweet coffin box of Korg.
Yeah, I was looking for one of these for a while, and some dude posted it on Craigslist. It didn't work when I bought it.
Right.
It was totally junk. And this guy who collects organs, he had like 4 Hammonds and like I'm not kidding, a garage full of Leslie cabs. And
What's
I mean
his-
like
what's
full
his
size
name?
Leslie. I don't remember what his name is.
Okay, as I probably know.
Oh, maybe you do. He repairs them all himself, but he just wasn't interested in repairing this. So
Yeah.
I bought it for like $300, which I've been looking for this instrument since I was like
It's beautiful.
19.
Yeah.
I found out Korg manufactured these clone wheels, and I was just like, that's what I want for the organ. And I found one. So take care of her, Wally.
I have to do my best.
So the Monarch Project's now kind of evolved to the point where you've had a CD release. So tell me about the CD. Tell me about putting those songs together and going into the recording process.
We didn't actually press a CD. We only pressed the vinyl.
Even better.
Yeah,
Get
we
a 7-inch piece of vinyl,
yeah.
or you can get a digital download.
There is a digital download in there. Yep.
Colored vinyl.
No one buys
too,
CDs
unless,
anymore. This is so great.
should ask.
That's
gone
why
back
we
to your
opted for the
options.
yeah.
We actually have 2 turntables. Neither one of them set up right now, unfortunately.
So just like just like what we're doing right now,
Yeah.
playing the material to the point where we think we've got it as far as we can take it, which actually isn't the case, because since we've recorded that, I think the songs have gotten much better.
Right.
Because you develop them further. We just got a couple songs together. I had been playing that song on the B-side, Desire, for a while, which I love that song, and just thought, let's do it. Jose mentioned a guy who I know. I thought, oh, that's perfect that you know him. He can get us a deal. He gave us a deal, so we got to go into Catherine North.
It's your high end calling card, and my first decent recording was Catherine North. It's a great place.
It is,
you know?
yeah.
It was beautiful in there.
And
Yeah.
so I'm really glad that you did a nice piece of artwork and a nice piece of vinyl. Put that out there. If you're going to do 2 songs, do them right.
Yeah,
Spend the money, make sure the suit looks good. You can wear it for years, right?
exactly.
So, but imagine like playing together. I want to get you to play something live before we go to the recorded material.
Yeah.
But you've got a great synergy, and you've got a great musicianship between you, the way you play. So, anything secret about the magic of
Time.
put the
Time. This
into
only
it.
recently happened. I mean, like, we were all not that it wasn't good before, but like something just clicked all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And I think we all recognized it at the last show.
The last show, yeah, and the last few as well.
It was just like, wow, this feels really comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little less nerves, a little more just we've got this
Yeah.
Yeah.
instead of barely hanging on.
And when that happens, it's just like you can project it.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and I feel really fortunate that we've got you in here, because this is forever. You're going to record it, and a band that can
Thanks for
manage to
having us.
record when they're on that cusp, when they're all really excited about the new music and what they're playing together, those are the best records. So today's record is a great little video on YouTube. So we're going to have one here from the Monarch Project at barbershoppodcast.com.
All right, this is a song we intend to release next. It's called "How Far Will You Go?" After 6, 1, 2, 3.
Somewhere they're living our dreams and gave us their own. That much I've been told. 'Cause none of us honestly needed the weight of the world that our grandfathers sowed. But suddenly it's plain to see through the eyes of my soul what I already know. That part of me has been you're stranded alone at the side of the road. Well, come with me and see what it means to be less than unknown. But how far will you go? How far will you go? How far will you go? How far will you go?
Monarch Project here at barbershoppodcast.com. Beautiful music from the soul, rich tapestry, luxurious. You guys are obviously fans of beautiful music, but you all, come from the place as a young man. You enjoyed the ugly music. You loved the, aggressive, violent music, as we all do. Music is it's very evocative. It's not only such an identifier of who we are when we're growing up, but it feeds into those confused emotions much more than the Charlie Brown teacher sound of the other influences in your life at the time. Who were and I'll go around the room. Who were like some of your musical influences that you think are still with you today? Not something that was a passing fancy, but
I'm sure the guys are sick of hearing this, but I always Thrice.
Thrice.
There was a band Thrice that went from like punk to metal to experimental and post everything. They were just awesome.
A little fearless with their...
Yeah, they're very experimental, not afraid at all. Man, there's so much. I guess bands like Brand New, and again the newer stuff like the Devil and God album, the more experimental stuff. Man, there's so much. I grew up listening to classical and even some of the older metal stuff, the Police, Beatles.
It all kind of melds together. Everyone gets their own, take on it, the mashup.
Yeah, Jose does that. He just kind of like takes everything, yeah.
What about you, Joe? Who were the things that forged part of who you are?
The first band I really listened to was Oasis.
Yeah,
We knew it.
I called it.
yeah.
We've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
I listened to Oasis, but like...
It makes sense. Like for an older guy like me, there was a couple bands along the way that saved guitar rock for me, and they were one of them.
Well, that was like, I'm maybe a little bit younger than I think the initial like 90s generation, so I kind of missed it. So I didn't know, like, people make fun of me still for me listening to Oasis. It's like I wasn't conscious during Wonderwall. I don't know.
Yeah.
So 1999, 2000, I got an album of theirs and I thought, this is awesome. And I just that was high school for me, listening to something that nobody else listens to. So that, yeah. And then I went through a huge Beatles phase, but that led to my George Harrison obsession. I love George Harrison.
Yeah.
That dude has...
If you're going to love someone, you pick someone like that.
Yeah, he's got a spot in my heart. I mean, his music touches deeper than a lot of music I listen to on a regular basis.
See, that starts to make sense for me. And what about you, Wally? Who got their hooks in you hard?
Started out like NoFX, then Slackers are a huge influence for me. Blanking right now. NoFX, Slackers. Streetlight Manifesto is another. Lots of horns, big kind of punky sound. This style of music is entirely new to me, and I do enjoy it, but mostly punk ska, but separate, not the old punk ska, punk or
ska.
The original ska feel. Yeah. Especially first, second wave stuff like Scatolites is just mind blowing.
Nice.
I guess Neil Young is he's my boy. So,
and what phase? Like, because he went through himself so many different phases.
well, I
when
always,
did it?
you know, I always knew like the radio hits, but it wasn't till I don't know. I guess it was probably 15, and it was the '95 MTV live acoustic, and I was just like, holy shit! Like, if I could play like that and command a room like that, it was just blew me away. So Pink Floyd in high school, The Doors, Beatles. I grew up with the Beatles, and like my dad was always playing that. And when everybody was into Dance Mix '93 in like middle school, for me, I was stealing my dad's cassettes. So I was like David Wilcox. So I was singing like, some people call me a bad apple, like around the yard.
That's great. Ryan and I were referencing David Wilcox earlier tonight because we're about 10 years difference in age. And,
and the Traveling Wilburys too.
Yeah,
When
nice.
I got a hold of that, I was just, man. Yeah.
That's like that's good stuff. That's good meat. It starts to make sense now.
There's gems that like you discover as you're going along, but it all stems the Beatles.
Yeah.
You go back to the Beatles, and it's just like this plethora of music they've. Yeah.
What about you, Rob?
Well, back in grade 7 or 8, and this is going back, I'm 30 now, so this is a while ago, but one of the first CDs I bought was The Bends by Radiohead.
Yeah.
And I've kind of been with them ever since. They've been one of my favorite bands. Just the way the band matured and the way they took their sound and their direction just kind of always clicked. I guess I just, was into the style of music that they were doing at the time. So, and I still really like them, even though their newest album isn't that great. But I'm not really into Tom York dancing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
gets a bit Yorkie on you.
Yeah. But it's cool, and it led to other things like more spacey and experimental stuff. I'm into a lot of krautrock stuff right now. So
old school krautrock.
Rob's
Can't
the guy.
go wrong. Can't go wrong.
He's the guy with the playlist that. Oh yeah. It's always got surprises.
That everyone's just like, what the hell is this?
Doesn't matter because it's awesome.
That's classic. And what about you?
I was a little bit of a mixed bag of influences. Growing up in the same household as our lead percussionist there, I took some pretty heavy influences off of him, but it started off mainly with like pop-punk, post-pop kind of bands like like the Weaker Thans and the Shins, and I don't know, I went through a Beatles phase. Like Joe, I'm pretty down with George Harrison. But it just kind of evolved over time. I'm now into more of like psychedelic rock, like that kind of stuff, dronier, spacier stuff, more like instrumental jams, just like the really passionate stuff. Like there's the 3 minutes where the band is actually playing what they're supposed to be playing, and then there's the 15-minute afterward where that's what I want to hear. It's all just improvisation. It's just them all putting themselves at their best.
The Syd Barrett years.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Speaking of music and music that's going to last forever, you've got some stuff you've committed. We've mentioned it before. I'd like to play something off of your 7-inch release, which is A Better Part of You. Any great story about that song?
The reprise is on it. Oh, no, they're not.
That's what I put the reprise in there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. A great story about that. So we recorded it, and I wanted this instrumental at the end, but we didn't really have like a clear idea of what we were doing in the studio. So we recorded our bit, and then the producer was just like, I'm going to reverse it, and Jose's going to play guitar solo on it. So Jose plays a guitar solo.
So they worked this all out behind your back, is what you're saying?
I was taking a leak.
It happens in an instant.
It was one of those things where he was like, all right, I have an idea. I'm going to play the song backwards, you're going to play the solo, but play the intense part first, and, just mellow it out, and then we're going to flip it. And I'm going to master it in 5.1, and it just ended up this weird backwards guitar.
Like that.
And we heard the playback as soon as you finished, and we all realized like that had to
genius.
be there. Like,
well, first I realized that some of the vocals needed to be changed because he wasn't singing the part that he was supposed to be singing because I was in the washroom. But then as soon as we got the instrumental part, it was just like
First take too. It was an in the moment.
Oh,
thing.
no way! Really?
Yeah, we used the first take.
That was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think we did 3, and then we decided the first one was the best.
1 just in case.
2, yeah.
And we used the first one.
So actually right now, what we're building, me and a couple of buddies, we're building a pedal. We're actually manufacturing our own guitar pedals so that we can replicate the sound that is on the recording, which
Excellent.
is of a backwards guitar. There's not like there's a lot of reverse delays out there, but we want like a reverse signal, like not something that's just like they've put a reverse send also in a delay pedal. And my buddy Peter is kind of like brainy about chips and stuff, and he's found some chips that will, reverse the signal. We want like proprietary control over the reverse signal.
Pathological. Mind tone shaping.
Yes.
I like it. I like the sounds of it. Okay, well, Ryan, can we spin a little bit of Monarch Project there? All right. Right here for barbershoppodcast.com. We got a better part of you reprise.
to see a better part of you. Your eyes, it's all in your eyes. I've taken the ride to see a better part of you. Your eyes,
part of you, right here from the Monarch Project, who have graced our presence here at Barber Shop Podcast at Boxo Studio in Hamilton, Ontario. Hamilton, such a rich, bubbling pot of music and talent. Again, I'll go around the room, start with you, Jose. Tell me about what kind of Hamilton and the music scene here has done for you as a musician.
Oh, man, I think I must have been 15 or 16 back in the Transit Union Hall days. And they were putting on shows. High school kids were putting on shows there. Corktown, even the Casbah before Brody had it. Yeah, it was just, and the YMCA. Just been a wicked city, lots of good musicians, very supportive. There's a camaraderie between all the musicians in the city. That's really cool.
Yeah, I've never had a problem. Anytime I've done a benefit project or I've put a word out, like musicians are the first people, to step up, and they're just really interested in helping each other and helping the, and I hate to call it a scene, but that's what it is. It's like, but the barriers are broken down almost immediately. It's incredible, great mix of people who, if they would meet on the street, perhaps they wouldn't have that much in common, but once they play 2 or 3 notes together, there's a bond that kind of lasts forever.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe? Like, what's Hamilton done to thicken your hide? Or
well, I kind of learned to play with people, playing with guys that I guess existed in the Hamilton music scene like long ago, and their kids. So I was kind of observing, which I didn't realize at the time. I was observing like old Hamilton musicians, and I had no idea who these guys were. And now playing shows and like meeting some people who have played with them in the past and finding out these stories, it's just like, oh, these guys like that I grew up with that lived like 3 doors down, these guys were touring musicians.
We're pretty fucking famous.
Yeah, at one point. And like that's crazy to think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're just like old guys now that are just jamming in the basement on like a 3-piece kit.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like I had one band in here, and the bass player, it's like literally was playing, guitar band, Rock Band or whatever, the video game. And his dad's like, what the fuck? And he's got a Furlanetto bass hanging on the wall. And he's like, what? If you put like half as much time and learning that instrument as you do in that video game, you'd be amazing. And guess what? He did. And he started playing, and he was great.
Yeah.
And so it was cool to see.
Some real stuff part there. Yeah. What about you, Wally? Like Hamilton must have rubbed you the right way and the wrong way. A little bit about everything.
So much. It's so great. I started off. I went to high school in Brantford, and they had a little venue there called the Ford Plant, and it had the most amazing scene like ever. There was, whether it was punk, indie, metal, just experimental noise bands. Everybody was coming out every Friday, Saturday night, and then it slowly transferred into this like terrible metal scene, which is like all open breakdown tech bands and I couldn't handle it anymore. And then the building actually closed. The city kind of put the end to that. And then I moved to Hamilton for school, and I noticed it was like the same scene but bigger. There were so many more people involved in it, and I honestly I can't go back. Like I can't go anywhere else because the scene is just like, even Toronto's it's too big and spread out. Here you run into the same people at different shows all over the city.
It's an incestuous community, but it's a really rich one. Like you'll swim with those people for years. So don't burn any bridges.
Definitely.
You can run into these people over and over and over again. For your whole life. James, what's Hamilton?
I was born and raised in Hamilton, so I'd go to the old La Luna on King when it was like where Cottage 13 is.
Oh yes,
now.
I cut my teeth there.
Yeah, see the Fat Cats play there, and they'd always hotbox the girls' washroom at a certain point in the evening, and everyone just had to use the boys' washroom. And back in those days, But it wasn't until my early 20s I started performing and playing solo acoustic, and that's how I kind of ran into Joe. We were playing the same open mics, and and then it was kind of being well received. And I ran into Rob and Jordan Wright, who Rob also plays with in his other band, The Doomed. And we played for a couple years, put out that album, and and then I met these guys, and that's where we are now.
It's all part of the story. Rob Hamilton.
That was kind of my introduction to the Hamilton scene, was through James and Jordan, just starting to play venues around the area.
You were still in Burlington.
Originally from Burlington, yeah, but...
and the open stages are good for that. They get shit on sometimes because people say, well, that's, you're getting free entertainment, and it's not, because I've run some, and it's like, once you give $20 to him and $30 to him, there's not a lot to go around, but the connections that are made there are great for the musicians to go out and you see, I'm going to have to talk to that person.
Especially since in Hamilton, there's pretty much an open mic or two every night of the week.
So that's some for you people who like to go out live music just because it's a Tuesday or Wednesday and that's a night you don't have the kids or you don't have to work tomorrow. There's music. Go check it out. If it's an open stage, I guarantee it's not going to be someone playing some hackneyed song. It's going to be some quality music, and you see that on a regular basis, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Though the one thing I do really like about the Hamilton scene that I've noticed is that there's kind of this like friendly competition going on with all the bands that we've played with, where it's like, each band is kind of pushing the other bands to, take it to the next level, right? It's not, there is no, not out to get each other. We're all sharing gear or whatever, jumping up to play, with a band while they're playing a song or whatever. So it's just nice to see that. It's all like a big community, It's,
there's a lot of back scratching too. Yeah. Like, we've opened for bands.
If the knife doesn't go in all the way the first time.
That's right. Yeah, like we've opened for bands just by accident, and then they've really enjoyed us, and so they've given us shows in the past, and we've returned the favor. So there's a lot of that in Hamilton, which is nice. There's no.
And it's appreciation. Like they can shit on you all day long, but if you kick ass and you play, they will sing your praises. Yeah. And I find that people will hold that little grudge until you actually are that good, and then it's like, okay, you'll get your props. At the end of the day. And what about you, Tom? Like, what's Hamilton? What element of Hamilton has brought itself through all the music that you play today?
Well, like my brother, I grew up in Burlington, and so my first experience with like garage bands and just like DIY bands from high school was I volunteered. I did my community volunteer hours.
Did you mean DIY?
Did you mean DIY?
Yeah, I like the DIY. I like that even better.
That would actually explain quite a bit. Yeah.
DIY
was with the Throwing the Horns concerts at the Burlington YMCA. I'd like hand out like pop and chips to all these high school students that were coming in to see their friends playing some bands, and that's kind of what introduced me to like the music scene in general. But I pretty much experienced Hamilton and more as a spectator than an actual contributor, and this is kind of my first experimental phase with actually like contributing to a band, and it feels really good. Like my brother said, like it's all about the community. There isn't any competition. It's not harsh. It's very chill and relaxed. Just people are out there to kind of support each other and contribute to like the growing movement of the music.
And the fact that you guys sound like you. It's great. Someone I'm sure tries to pigeonhole you on a regular basis and say, well, what do you sound like? What's the Monarch Project sound like? And you sound like you. And it's you didn't all come from the same place, and you're not trying to sound like anyone, but you have a sound that, like, the first time I heard it, I go, man, that's so familiar, marketable, and yet unique. Marketable. So this is a band I predict great things for.
Thank you.
Keep your ears and your eyes peeled for the Monarch Project. They're going to be here, there, and everywhere. We're going to post their links on barbershoppodcast.com. But we're going to get you dial up another live one for us. What you going to play?
Sure. We're going to play a new one that we haven't actually performed before.
Perfect.
That I wanted to have done for this. So, you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Always.
All right. When I find a way.
When I find a way to get back home, I won't know what to say at your door. I've been gone so I knew it wouldn't last, don't fade away just for today. 'Cause now my mind's been made. I need to know if you take the blame for us both. Yeah. Dreams have all run dry. Remembering your face is hard, I find. Now looking back, I knew you'd be the one to walk away with nothing to say. 'Cause when I find a way to get back home, I won't know what to say at your door. I've been gone so long, I see the change, but you've stayed the same as before. Yeah, you've stayed the same as before. Yeah, you've stayed the same as before.
Barber Shop Podcast, bringing you the Monarch Project here on another wonderful Wednesday night from Hamilton, Ontario, home of such great live music and great musicians and people who provide it on a regular basis. Be sure to frequent the establishments that provide live music because it does nurture the soul, and without music, where would we be? It'd be pretty bleak, I'll tell you that much. Well, you know what, boys? Your sound is I guess kind of infectious. You've played a few interesting gigs. What do you find about like playing live is your favorite part?
When it works out.
When it works out, no. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, you couldn't have that many disasters, right?
No, you know, like we practice. We're pretty hard on ourselves, I think, when we practice.
I think I'm harder on you guys than you are.
Yeah. So when we have those little mistakes, like I think we hear them, and probably the audience doesn't.
It's a day ruiner.
We hope.
Yeah. Well, the dynamic of the band and how the band gets on together, the personalities comes through in the music, you know, and it's like people aren't conscious of that, but the end result is self-evident. So
we work hard on it, but in the end, it's always just fun. Right, like
I
find like for 2 hours after practice, like I'm high.
You're still giddy.
Like it's hard to go to sleep.
Yeah. So what are the plans for the future in recording and what you're going to do as a band?
Well, right now we are just trying to figure out who we want to record with. I've got a buddy who has a home studio, and I thought it'd be really interesting to do something like really, really independent, you know, like just in his living room.
Completely DUI.
Yes, completely DUI.
We're all leaving wasted.
Yes. That'll be the rating. So this is a 2.3.
But like that's still up in the air because it's like we can do that and hopefully it comes out with like there's something we can use from that. The intention is to do another 7-inch. We talked about doing a 10-inch. We're not really interested at this point in doing like a full length album, or I'm not anyway. I may have just convinced these guys not to. I love albums.
But how's the writing process going now though? It's like it's continuing to. You're stockpiling.
Yes, absolutely, definitely.
Lots of songs.
Yeah, have enough material for a full length album, but do I feel like all those songs should be on an album? Maybe not.
Right.
Some of them would be filler. Do I want to put an album out with filler?
and again, there's another delicate balance where you want to get this stuff out there because you'll sit on it forever.
Yeah,
you're too critical of yourself. You're gonna squash something that should see the light of day, but you don't want to again put out crap or something where I'm not really thinking about it critically enough.
Yeah. So
and then there's money, and then there's time, But it seems like all of you are kind of dedicated to the cause, and I think that's the first thing that you have to do is everyone has to be on the same page, as far as like how important is this, what you're doing right now.
Yeah, I think we're all at the same stage right now.
There's no laggarts and has to get whipped on a regular basis.
No, I mean, except Rob, he buys the beer.
Well, both the beer and the effort. It's my clumsy segue towards Desire, which is the other tune we're going to play. Anything about Desire that we need to know before we hear it?
Is this getting personal, Joe?
Do
Yeah.
you want to hear something personal?
Yeah, it's a little dark story.
Joe wrote the song.
Oh, there's nothing dark here. I was just like
really horny.
Oh, now I can't tell the story because it's gonna go weird. It's gonna go totally weird, and
what other chance are you gonna get? You gotta go for it.
Yeah, come on. Tell the story.
It's actually not about a woman at all. That I would have.
This should be really interesting.
It was like one of those songs that you like. I only wrote it once, and it was just like, 3 a.m. I had a few puffs, and I'm just like,
if I don't do it now.
Well, I didn't have a choice. It just came out, and it was like, I wrote it as I played it, and it was like I could just hear it coming to me, and the words. I mean, like the words, not the progression is just one progression that like many people have used before. I'm sure. Like it's familiar because of that, and the words just like, and the melody, words and melody came out, and I was feeling a little bit of the White Album at that time, and there's I can't remember the name of the songs on the White Album, but there's some of that in there, and it's like that. It was like I was feeling that, and then I just like I took that feeling, played it on the guitar, and I was like immediately just carried the song on, and the words came out like that. I wrote it once, and that was
sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I get to hear it. This is something that was gave birth to on the floor at 3 a.m. This is awesome. This is Desire from the Monarch Project at barbershoppodcast.com. Desire from the Monarch Project. Not a song that you necessarily what you think it's about. You got to tell a story. Give us a give us a short
You have to
version.
now, yeah.
I was tripping out, and I thought my grandmother was dying, and I thought I had some kind of like telekinetic connection to her, and I saw this like I couldn't focus on what it was. It was this light that was like moving towards me, and I was just like so touched by this light that I just wrote the song.
Cool.
Thinking about my grandma.
a desire to be and achieve, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
what's the
achieve.
NBA part?
Yeah, it was about the NBA part. She wanted you to be famous. She knew that you had greatness within you, but she just didn't see it as a song
No,
and dance
I'm
band.
just taller than her. That's it.
It seemed huge.
She wanted
You
me
were
to-
always huge. I never
She's
thought
like
of that.
5'4".
It's all relative, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Well, I'll tell you, each and every night of the week, you can see some great music here in Hamilton, Ontario. I want to get at least 2 more songs out of you guys, so enough chit-chat.
Sure.
Why don't you play another one for us and give us
All
a
right.
treat?
This is another new one. It's called We've Got Nothing to Talk About, and it's not about a single person in particular.
We were driving through the storm when I noticed that you wore one white feather for your cap that was once now not as black anymore. And it took me by surprise that I did not realize it was such a subtle change, but you hardly seem the same as before. Though it's hard, we'll see it through. You can count on it, but I hardly think of you anymore. 'Cause we've got nothing to talk about, and your love is something I'll live without. Though it's hard to trust me, I think it's time. 'Cause honey, we've got nothing to talk about. Every day that passes by, I just sit and wonder why. Did it have to end this way, or could things have stayed the same for you and I? Though it's hard, we'll see it through. You can count on it that I hardly think of you anymore. 'Cause we've got nothing to talk about. And your love, darling, it's something I live without. Though it's hard to trust me, I think it's time. 'Cause honey, we've got nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about.
The Monarch Project here at barbershoppodcast.com. Wonderful job, guys. When you think about a song and when you bring it out, do you bring out just yourself playing on acoustic and everyone kind of adds, or do you write the song together kind of layer at a time?
Most of the time I have like an idea of the song. I have usually at least the parts written for me to perform in front of these guys so that when I get in front of them, I feel comfortable going through the whole song, right?
Right.
Because I'm kind of shy in front of these
Do you
guys.
write in the same process every time, or do you mix it up sometimes?
We've...
Almost.
Yeah, it's usually... I write everything on the acoustic guitar, then I bring it to the guys and say, here's the song.
It undergoes some tweaks and changes when we bring it to the full band,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
for the most part, you've got a basic blueprint.
So you've got a good editing process working together when
Yeah.
if, someone's very clear about something they like or don't like, if it's clunky, and there's no egos getting in the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
We
no.
pretty much just Joe brings it to the table. We just play with it. We just jam to it.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of like happy accidents that way too. Like
Yeah.
As an example, the last one we played, that kind of outro part came out of nowhere. The song, we used to just fade out the drums at the end, and then you tried that ridiculous
Weird C
like
chord,
diminished kind of, or whatever that chord is, and then we thought it sounded great, so we took it in that direction.
Yeah, very nice, Beatlesque, to a certain point. So you're curious and you're fearless, and so when you don't feel constricted in any way as far as writing. The direction that you take, it's holistic. It kind of comes out from the sum is greater than the parts, I would imagine.
I'm terrified.
Yeah, it's strong. Like the music is strong. It's really good stuff. It's really
Thanks.
good stuff. And I mean, you get to hear it. This is the kind of stuff you get to see on Barbershop Podcast every week. You got a whole pack of tunes that haven't been put on an album yet, but will see the light of day. And this is the sort of thing that you could see if you look in your View magazine, or you look in your listing somewhere and you see live music, especially someone like Monarch Project. And
tomorrow night,
you want to go see them out. So we're playing tomorrow night, which is Thursday,
yes, yeah.
February
27th.
27th.
I was getting to that. I had no idea.
2014.
Yeah.
Just for the future.
Oh, for the future. This is right, because you'll be old men one day and go, come on, look at me when I was a hottie.
One day.
Yeah.
I was a hottie. I was a hottie. So where's the gig?
At Absinthe.
Yeah.
Club
Yeah,
Absinthe.
King William.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, we're playing with some friends of ours, the Kents, who actually...
Yes.
Yeah, those
Yes.
guys spurred they fueled that initial outreach that I had to you, to like say, just, can we get on your show?
Yeah.
Those guys had mentioned you, and we played a couple shows with them, but recently they just kind of took an interest in...
Yeah, no, they said you saved a night, where it was like you were by far the best group that night. Yeah, and to say that from a cynical old bastard like John Connolly is a great thing, right? So I was like, okay, I've been putting off booking an actual date, but after he said that, it's like, all right, I got Connolly's stamp of approval. So
I guess we're buying his beer tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully he's not watching.
Yeah, hopefully.
no doubt. But they're also, they know how to craft a song. Those boys,
Yeah,
and
those
they
guys
appreciate,
are tight.
yeah, luxury, tight, and yeah, not wasted. There's not a wasted note.
Yeah.
And really like the way they put a song together, and they appreciate good singing. And it's nice when you guys put all the different pieces together. And I'm going to get you to play another one, because we got to head out fairly soon, but not before you give us at least one more. Don't you know?
All right. Don't you know?
Don't you know?
All right. The Traveler.
To see the traveler, you know just where he'd be. The wind wrapped in the sails that had dragged him out to sea. But something's got him changing, and the breeze that set him free has left his sheets and found its way back to the fields, or where he's meant to be. Settle in and take what life can throw. But journeymen are watchers of the stars and how they glow. Across the heavens, written in a cosmic eulogy, the secrets to a life beyond us, and the truth to where we're meant to be. better drag him out to sea. But something's got him changing, and the breeze that set him free has left his sheets and found its way back to the fields or where he's meant to be.
The Monarch Project here at Barber Shop Podcast. I tell you, an amazing band. Incredible, tight like a tiger, I gotta say. You boys, you can tell you've been honing your craft, been working hard at it. There's passion there, and it's right at the point. It's right at the bursting point. It's like that pimple right before the prom. You can't, it's there. It's right now. This is like the best that this band will. They'll be more polished in years to come, but I don't think it'll ever get to that crossroads of being hungry and being schooled at the same time.
You might be right, yeah.
So I know it's a really exciting time. It's an exciting time to be in a band. It's an exciting time to have you guys on the show, and it's great that we can document these tunes right here and now. So I'll normally be closing it up and wrapping it up, but I'll give you a chance to spin one more if you want to. I know it's pulling a bit of a fast one, but the mix is really good. So this is your opportunity to commit one more to the eternity, cyber eternity.
Yeah.
You can play the cover if you want.
You guys want to play the cover, or you want to play
let's
Trouble
do
Mind?
it.
Do the cover.
All right.
Let's do the cover.
Okay, we're gonna do a cover song.
Yeah, this is Waterloo Sunset by the Kinks.
There you go. Gotta love the Kinks.
Not yet.
One,
Go ahead, guys. I'll catch up.
you only get out the book.
I'll catch up.
1, 2, 3, 4. Wait 1 second. I didn't think we were playing the song. I tuned my guitar for that song.
Amateurs.
That very first note was absolutely the worst note.
This is the magic of live TV.
Pulling a fast one.
There you go.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Dirty old river, must you keep rolling, flowing into the nights? These people so busy, make me feel dizzy. Taxi lights shine so bright, but I don't feel afraid as long as I gaze on sunset. I am in paradise. Sha-la-la. Every day I look at the world through my window. Sha-la-la. The chilly, chilliest evening side. 'Cause Waterloo sunset's fine. Sunset's fine. Ooh, Terry meets Julie at Waterloo Station every Friday night. But I am so lazy, I don't want to wander. I stay at home at night, and I don't need no friends as long as I gaze on a Waterloo sunset. I am in paradise. Sha-la-la. Every day I look at the world through my window. Sha-la-la. The chilly, chilliest evening time. 'Cause Waterloo sunset's fine. Sunset's fine. Ooh, millions of people gather like flies round Waterloo's underground, while Terry and Julie cross over the river where they feel safe and sound, and they don't feel afraid
Waterloo Sunset for the Kinks by the Monarch Project, who have, wow, really knocked it out of the park tonight, I got to say, guys. Fantastic job. Yeah, coming down here at Barber Shop Podcast, where we bring you, what would you say, Ryan, the very greatest in music each and every week, all the time, every time?
Every time. Nothing but the greatest.
Nothing but the greatest.
Nothing but the best.
24/7.
Yep.
You can play it over and over again. We have 66 episodes. Is it the 6 guys that
That's
came in
easily 3 days solid.
3 days.
Somebody should do that. Somebody should get super drunk, drink a bunch of beer, and just stay up and listen to every podcast.
Fuck Breaking Bad. Just put on Barbershop Podcast and go on one of those drinky vacations and watch every single one of them. We've had some great ones.
You might need some other stimulants.
Hey, you know what? The music should do it. You know, it's a drug, along with love.
Yeah.
Well, we bring that each and every week, too.
Yeah.
Next week, we got, I think the Mississippi Ben's in here, don't we?
Yep.
Yeah, we got a little Mary Simon and her kick-ass band. Oh, just gets 1 week to the next. Amazing music here at barbershoppodcast.com each and every week. Guys, I want to thank you for coming into the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Having a great time. You played great tonight. And remember, your great-grandchildren are going to see this. It's forever. See you next week.
See ya.